Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So I have just kind of recently finished up our trip vlogs from our most recent trip to Disney World, and I wanted to talk about some of the things that I learned while I was there because it's been a hot minute since I've been to the parks. I hadn't been since March of 2018, so Lightning Lane was a whole new situation. So today I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I learned about Lightning Lane on my most recent trip to Disney World. Lightning Lane replaced FastPass. So FastPasses used to be free. You could just get whatever ride you wanted. You would go and you would get the little paper tickets and you would come back during a certain time. It was a virtual wait. That was excellent. And then we went to FastPass Plus. And it was slightly not as good to me. A lot of people really liked FastPass Plus. I didn't love it. You could reserve attractions 60 or 30 days out, depending on if you were staying on property or not. You could reserve 3 at a time and then 1 at a time after you use those first 3. It was okay. I loved it. It was free. Then after the pandemic and Disney has been changing some stuff, Lightning Lane was introduced. And Lightning Lane is a paid FastPass system. So you pay $15 a day per person to have access to make reservations for some of the rides in the park. Not all of them offer Lightning Lane. A lot of them do. Some of them are individual Lightning Lane, which you don't have to purchase the $15 a day to get. I'm sure someone has a video explaining the whole shebang somewhere on here more eloquently than me, but for the purposes of our trip, we were planning on getting Lightning Lane every day so that we could make reservations and have rides that we know that we could ride pretty quickly. And we were not planning on getting any individual Lightning Lanes except for Rise of the Resistance if we could. So, couple of things that I learned with that. The first thing being, if you're not going to be there at park open, Lightning Lane is not worth it. So if you are planning on being at the park when it opens and your first attraction that you book is going to be pretty early in the day, then you have pretty good success. You can book a few at that point. Every day, woke up, set an alarm so that I could buy Lightning Lane, and then at 7 o'clock, then you could make your first reservation. I think I have a screen recording from our first day where at 7 on the dot, I was ready to refresh the My Disney Experience app so that I could get the earliest time possible for Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain was one that we wanted to get the very first Lightning Lane we could because I don't wait in line for Thunder Mountain. That queue, even in the morning, even at night, is the service of the sun. I don't wait in line for Thunder Mountain. I only do that if I can have a fast pass or Lightning Lane for it. So we wanted to get a reservation for that. So I will try to insert that video here so that you can see how quickly those times book up. So here is the My Disney Experience app. You can see it's just a couple minutes before 7. So I was just getting ready to go. And if you click on the tip board, that will bring up the park. Usually Magic Kingdom is first, but sometimes it defaults to the park that you are scheduled for that day, which happened to be Magic Kingdom. So Thunder Mountain was what we wanted. And if it was not so close to the top, you could also just hit search and go to Big Thunder. There it is. And you would just click that big Lightning Lane button in the middle, and it would bring up the same screen. So just another way to get to it. But there's 7 o'clock. I'm refreshing and click on Thunder Mountain. And you can already see that the time is switching. It already says that it's between 9:20 and 10:20. So just literal microseconds between those times. And we have that reserved now. So if you aren't logging on right at 7 in the morning and getting that first FastPass time, then the times shift. It's not like you can go in and you can say, like you could with the old FastPass Plus system, be like, I want to make a reservation for this time later in the day for this attraction and like spread them out. Can't do that. Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, the only thing you can do is, I want this attraction, and it will tell you this is the time that we are booking that attraction for. That's the earliest time possible, and that's what you can have. And that's what you have to take. You can only do one at a time. So that was a little rough because if you are at Hollywood Studios, for example, and one day we were like, oh, we'll do Rock and Roller Coaster because we love Rock and Roller Coaster. So we got a Lightning Lane for that at like 9:30. We check in and then you can make your next reservation. And we looked like, let's do Tower while we're over here. Tower of Terror was booked up at that point. At 9:30 a.m., Tower of Terror was booked for the entire day. So that's another thing that we learned. If there are attractions like Tower of Terror, like Slinky Dog Dash, things that book up very quickly, which you won't know necessarily until you've been at the parks for a couple of days and you've kind of like looked. Those, book them first. If you have even a remote interest in riding some of those rides, book them first thing in the morning, because otherwise, if you wait until 9:30, they're booked for the rest of the day. Now you can keep refreshing throughout the day, and sometimes people will cancel reservations. They have other stuff come up, they decide they don't want to do it, whatever. Reservations do become available. So if you keep checking back and just like refreshing that page, sometimes for a split second, they'll be like, oh, there's a Tower of Terror in 2 hours. And you can select it really quick. You have to be quick though, because so many times I was like, yes, I got it. Oh, it's gone. As soon as I would click like confirm, it's just a few steps. You click on it, you select your party, and then you say confirm. And in that length of time, sometimes someone else had already snatched it up. So you have to be really quick with the My Disney Experience app, which is a problem if the Wi-Fi is being slow or you don't have great service on your cell phone. If you have like a cell phone that like sucks up battery, you're in trouble. So Lightning Lane, just overall, it was a time. It was an experience. Not my favorite. I didn't love FastPass Plus because I was so attached to the old paper FastPass system. But I really don't like Lightning Lane. I really don't like it. Now that's not to say that I'm not going to continue using it if that's the way that Disney goes, if they continue having Lightning Lane as the only option to have those virtual lines and to, be able to get a return time for an attraction. If that's how they're going to do it, then I'm going to play the game, I guess, and I'm going to keep doing it to the tune of $15 a day per person. Luckily, it's just the two of us, so it's a little bit cheaper, but if we were a family of 4, like my family was, like, that adds up really quickly, especially if you have a multi-day vacation plan, if you're not just there for a day or two. So it is an extra cost on top of the fact that the parks are already more expensive to get into. And if you're not staying on property, it becomes even harder to get these reservations. I don't stay on property. I like having a kitchen when I am there. So we always have like a timeshare or something that we stay in, just as a general rule. So we don't stay on property, which automatically makes it more difficult to get these things, because some of them, like the individual Lightning Lanes, the on-site resort guests have access to earlier. I didn't know that. So our entire plan for our second day there, our first day at Hollywood Studios, our entire plan hinged on getting Rise of the Resistance individual Lightning Lane. And I know I shouldn't have planned for that, but I was hopeful that we could get it. I was like, I'm quick. I'm gonna be on it. Well, the problem is that isn't available at 7. That's available at park open if you're not a resort guest. It's available, I think, 30 minutes before park open for resort guests. Not for me. So I'm standing in line at like the bag check and stuff, and I'm trying to be like ready. Like we're ready to go through the turnstiles as soon as they open, and I'm like trying to refresh. No times available. So we just ended up having to go and wait in the actual queue, which was not that bad. I think it took us 45 minutes maybe. It wasn't that bad because we went straight there. It was a learning experience. I did learn a lot while we were there, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just part of the crowd at this point. Like, is there anyone who is absolutely in love with Lightning Lane? Like, aside from the fact that it's an extra cost. I'm sure there's no one who's like, yes, I am thrilled that I get to pay $15 extra just for this privilege. But is there anyone who, like, aside from that, likes the system? Let me know. Maybe, I could be, biased because I just really liked the original paper FastPass system, that I'm just like, nothing's ever going to compare. I'm not going to like it. But if you have positive stuff to say about Lightning Lane, please do let us know, because the internet is full of pretty negative stuff about it right now. So that is it. I just wanted to share some of the things that I learned. This wasn't really educational in any way, I'm certain, but those are some of the things I learned. If you're going to be there all day and you're getting there at park open, Lightning Lane is useful. If you're going to come like in the middle of the day, those times are probably already going to be booked up, especially for the rides that you would really want to be able to use it for, because their lines get so long. So if you're not starting the day off first thing in the morning, maybe don't do it. I don't know. I can't make your decisions for you. The individual Lightning Lanes, really difficult to get. So if you get them, awesome. If you don't want to spend $12 or whatever on one ride per person, understandable, then just get there earlier. Stand and just dedicate yourself to standing in the line. And if you're not staying on property, just be prepared that some of those things are going to book up pretty quickly because you just don't have access yet. So just things to think about. If that's going to really be, you know, a big impact for you, then maybe stay on property. Like I said, I'm always probably not going to be staying on property. The exception being one day I would like to stay at like a monorail resort because just that access. So close, so close. Anything to avoid TTC. But that is it for today, guys. I hope you have learned something or at least enjoyed listening to me ramble. So let me know what your thoughts are on Lightning Lane down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.